How's it going, guys? And welcome back to the Beyond the Arc podcast off-season edition. Off-season basketball,
It's
off-season
it's
Beyond the
not
Arc.
the time, man.
It's
It's
not.
not
It's
the
not. I
time.
miss basketball. It's been
I
too long
miss.
since the end of the season, and there's now no more summer league. The Blazers won the summer league. I don't understand why the Bulls wasn't part of the summer league final, despite them having like the second best record in the summer league. I don't understand. It's all in the bin. Um, when
Uh,
is the NBA going to come back? Who
Please,
knows?
NBA, man, we need you right now.
But I guess during the off season, I'm going to have a few more conversational videos about, again, just the NBA in general, maybe stuff about last season, maybe stuff looking forward to towards next season. The one thing that we're going to be doing today, though, is we've gone away and we have put down who we think our top 20 NBA players are. Now, this has all come after Rudy Gobert traded to Minnesota. We saw a tweet. I might try and get it. I might try and put it on screen now. We saw a tweet and someone said, if Anthony Edwards can make that jump next season, Minnesota are going to have 3 top 20 players. I sent it to Sully on Instagram. I was like, what's this? Like, what are we thinking? And, me and Sully had a little bit of a conversation about it. And then I was like, wait,
This
hold
is a
that.
podcast
Hold
with
that
you.
thought. We're going to talk about it on the podcast. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be essentially just listing off who we think our top 20 players are. We'll probably go from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
I personally think out of any other podcast that we've done, this is probably going to cause the most debate between us two.
Oh, definitely, because I'm looking at my list and I know there's some that a lot of people are gonna disagree with. But yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and what way to mark the almost 1 year anniversary of us two recording
Yeah,
together.
we're getting close. We're getting close.
Yeah. So I guess before we get into that, though, make sure that you're liking and subscribing on the YouTube. Make sure that you're commenting down below any videos you want us to make over the next 3 or so months. Make sure that you're following us on all the socials. They're in the description. Legend has it, if you're a friend of Sully's and he doesn't actually reply to you on like Instagram, Snapchat, anything like that, it's because he's too busy on TikTok replying to people's comments on our TikTok. So
Oh my! I
if you want to
really
talk,
am.
if you want to talk to Sully, you gotta follow our TikTok. That's just how
You
it
have
works.
to. I'm very interactive on there. Big up that one guy who subscribed to us because I had a conversation with him on there.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Make sure you're following all of that. Links in the description. And I'm ready. If I'm honest with you,
Yeah, I'm
enough with
so
the
hyped.
intro. I'm ready to get straight into it. Like I said, I'm
Mm.
interested to see who you've left out more than where you've put everyone.
There are some people that I've missed like this
Yeah.
list, and some people that I wish I could like add an extra spot for them.
Yeah.
But these things have to happen. So we're going bottom to top, yeah.
Yeah. And before we get into it, this is who we think are the best players in the NBA. It's not our favorite players.
Mm.
It's just who we think are the best players in the NBA. That is very loose. Like, it could take into account who, you know, someone like Kawhi or Dame, who hasn't featured much in the last year, 2 years. They could do we put them on there? Do we have a bit of recency bias? Who knows? Who knows? Where does LeBron James go? He's obviously the certified GOAT of the league today, but
Mm.
are there players better than him? Who knows? Who knows? But I
So
think we
how
should.
are we running it then? Am I like shall I spit out like the bottom three and then you spit out like something like that, or how do you wanna do this?
That sounds like a great idea. To be fair, yeah. Why don't you spit out your bottom three? So 20th to 19th.
Okay, so 20 and 19 spot was so hard because I had four guys. Two of them had to drop. The
Yeah.
two that dropped, should I name drop them? I'll name drop them. The guys that didn't make the list, I really wanted to, was Melo and Trey Young. They didn't make it, but they were
No Trae
close.
Young. Okay.
No Trey Young. It was close
Okay.
though. But number 20, now it was a tough one, and this might be a bit of like bias in the sense that I really like the guy, but I put Zion at number 20.
That's interesting. Do you know why that's
Because
interesting?
why is that interesting?
Because he was the guy who I was debating to get into 20. I didn't put him in there.
But see, that was what I was thinking. Like, I didn't know. Does he make it? Does he not? Like, I know if we're talking healthy players, he's definitely a top 20 player. Which is why, like, some of the people are in here for a reason.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
like, but Zion got in there,
All
and
right, okay.
number 19, we've got Ja Morant.
Okay.
Ja, obviously, Ja's Ja. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
know in the
He's
next 2 years, he probably will be in that top 10.
so
If
the two people from the 2019 draft class, the top two picks from that
mm,
draft class you've put.
yeah, I mean, they're looking like they were the top two picks for a reason. Obviously,
Yeah.
Zion, we've not even seen I can't even say a full season of the guy yet, but
No, yeah.
I like we already know what he is, and we know what's coming now, like with him next season. And
Uh-huh.
then to round off my bottom three, I've got in the 18th spot, Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown. Okay. All right.
I don't know if maybe like some people might think that's a bit too low, some people might think that's a bit too high. Maybe he shouldn't be in there for some people, but
Yeah.
I had to include him, especially like
That
I know
finals.
obviously
The
that
final.
finals.
That whole playoff run. I feel like
Yeah,
that's valid. I feel like
yeah,
you
he
could
had
be
to be certified in
many
there.
people could think recency bias on that. But
But I've like Sam knows, I've really liked Jalen Brown for a long time,
yeah, yeah.
and I feel like he had to make his way in there. But yeah, that's my bottom three.
All right. Well, now the what I did, I just went through the NBA app and I picked out players
That's
that I think
literally
were
what I did too.
players that I think were locks. So players that are easily top 20 in my
Mm,
opinion. And then I picked out like potential people who can kind of fill in at the bottom. Jalen Brown was
mm,
someone who I put out as potential. He's not in mine though. I feel like
okay.
that last playoffs, yeah, that's good. I also feel like JT and JB are the best duo, one of the best duos in the league. Probably not the best, but one of the best.
Mm,
Zion, like I said, he was probably 21st in my list. I mean,
mm,
like he's averaging 26 points per game over 85 games in the 1.5 seasons, not even 1.5 seasons, literally one and a bit seasons that we've seen him.
mm,
And I feel maybe next season, if he comes back and he plays at the level that he's played at, he should be cracking that top 20 in my opinion.
100%.
Who else did you say? Number 19?
I had John Morant in there.
Yeah, Jamran. Okay, so we'll talk about Jamran a little bit later. He's not in my bottom three.
Okay, okay, that's
20th
fair.
for 20th for me, I feel is kind of like Zion Williamson, but just that little bit better. I've put Anthony Davis at number 20.
Really?
I feel like you
I've got
could,
AD in there, but
yeah. I feel like
no, no, you know what? That's fair.
recency has probably put him a little bit low in my opinion, but I feel
Mm,
like whenever he's on that basketball court, he
mm,
impacts the game. But I just feel like injuries maybe
yeah,
kind of put him
I
down
feel
there.
that. I feel that.
Maybe a lot of recency biases within my top 20. Who knows? Because number 19, I've put Kyrie there. Kyrie is potentially top 10 if he plays every game of the season. It's just, I don't know, man. After seeing.
I'm just smiling because I look at my list and I see what I put Kyrie in. We're gonna be waiting a while. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, I feel like he could be certified top 10. I just feel like even when he played, he outshone KD in that
Mm,
Brooklyn Boston series, although they still got swept.
yeah.
And he came back. He dropped a couple 50 pieces in the limited time
Mm,
that he had before the playoffs. But I feel like potentially because of the fact that he hasn't played quite a bit, I put him number
yeah.
19. And then round
That's
off
fair.
my bottom three, number 18, I've gone with my guy DeMar DeRozan.
Okay. Okay.
DeMar DeRozan at number 18. I feel like very good, very good season last year. Very good regular season performer. What he does in the playoffs though kind of limits him a little bit from getting a bit higher than that, unfortunately. So yeah,
Nah, you know
Demar
what? That's quite fair.
number 18 for me. Yeah, Demar number 18 for me. I don't know, man. Are all those three in your top 20?
Yeah, they're all in there. They're all in there.
Oh, okay, right. So
They're all
that's
in there.
that's interesting. So two of yours ain't in mine. So Zion obviously ain't in mine, and
And
JB
JB.
ain't in mine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all of mine all of mine there.
So
Who
I feel
wants
like
to?
we are gonna have some players who won't be in each other's now because of the gap. But the way you started off, I've got all of them so far.
Right. And
So
obviously, well, you've got Kyrie a little bit higher than me, but
mm,
we'll see. We'll
a
we'll
little.
talk about we'll see a bit
So
later.
I'll hit you with my next three then.
We'll do it in
So
threes for now. Yeah.
yeah, we can, and then we'll switch up. So I've got, as you just mentioned, to my number 17 spot, I've got DeMar DeRozan. So just one higher than you.
Okay,
Like
that's interesting.
kind of the same like reasons. Like regular season, the guy was amazing. The only thing is we've never really seen DeMar like really shine in the playoffs like to the best that we've seen him. But like he's still got time, and I still think we might see that hopefully next season. Like you never know, that might happen. Like that's what I've been waiting for. But if you ask me, he's still a top 20 player, no doubt. Then above him, I've got AD there. That's
Okay,
where I put AD.
right.
Now, like you said, obviously the guy is built like a piece of paper, but I mean, like it's the kind of the same reason I put Zion in there. I know when AD's healthy, like I mean, we've seen him when he's healthy. The guy won a chip, when
Yeah,
he was at his best.
that's also what I kind of had in my head. I was
Yeah,
like, Zion, he's good. I had Bradley Beal in my head as someone who could
mm,
potentially creep into there, and I was like, Anthony Davis has done it on the big stage.
yeah. And then to round off my second set of three, I've got Jason Tatum. That might be low for some people. That might be really low for some people. I
Jason
just
Tatum, All NBA first team.
all NBA first team. I just the reason why I put him that low, I think now as you mentioned, him and JB are one of the best duos in the league. And I think a lot of people might disagree with me, but I think there's not loads to separate the two. I think they both accommodate each other's game very well, and I think that's why they are one of the best duos in the league. And like I do think, like as I put him in this list, I do think Jason Tatum is better than Jalen Brown, but I don't think by a lot. So
All
for
right.
that reason, I couldn't put JT so much higher. Like when I first was doing it, I think I kept moving him down. So I had him probably in the top 10 at one point, and I kept moving him down. And then by the time I almost rounded it off, I thought I can't have JB here and JT all the way here. So I had to accommodate that. So with that being said, my 15th spot, is that 15th?
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
15.
15.
Okay.
Jason Tatum is, in
All
my
right.
opinion, the 15th best player in the league.
Damn. Okay. Well, like you said, with Kyrie, we're gonna be waiting a little bit to hear Jason Tatum from me. I'm ready to get smoke from you right now for my number 17 pick.
Are you?
I'm ready
Okay.
because I've put Chris Paul there.
You know what?
I know how
See,
much you like Chris Paul, and I
that's
know
kind of low,
and
but
you've probably put him way
it's
higher.
it's not it's not extremely low, I will say.
Okay.
I mean, we have to take into account like if we were having this conversation 4 years ago, probably the guy would probably be sat in both of our top tens. I don't. I think he's in mine. I don't know. He's in the list. Um, no, he isn't. He is. I don't know. I'll count it later. But I mean,
I think he has to be in.
he has to be in the list. Where you
Yeah.
put him, I don't think it really matters, to be
The
honest.
lack of rings, in my opinion, it brings him
It's
down.
it's the and I hate to like put hate on this guy because, like you said, I like him so much. But if we're talking consistency, playoff consistency from CP, the best I ever saw him was probably when he was at OKC. If I'm honest, playoff run from what I've
Yeah.
seen, like, and that was only 1 year. Like,
That's an interesting take. I feel like that was the year where he didn't really have anyone else
yeah,
to
he
kind of
didn't have
play
much
around.
help.
He had to be that main guy, and I feel like
Yeah,
he did show it. But yeah, I feel like especially this season with the Suns, I feel like it could have been his year this year, and I feel
100%, 100%.
can he
Like,
can he have one more? Who knows? Phoenix managed to keep hold of DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, if we're telling the truth here, I think the one chance he did have, obviously we saw he let
You
it
think
slip.
the ship sailed?
I hate to think like that, but I do think so.
Right.
Like I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but I think it probably has,
Fair.
and it pains me to say that. But to put him that low on your list, it's a little bit questionable, but it's it's okay.
Okay. Right. Well. Oh, phew. Well. I feel like that might be one of the most questionable ones that you might ever go with for, but I don't know. There might be some more questionable ones a little bit further up. Who knows? 16th for me, I've gone with Cat. You said you were saying earlier to me that Carl Anthony Towns ain't even in your top 20, despite
Which
that
is
kind
so
of being.
crazy because the reason this video happened is because I was like, so some said he sent me that post and I was like, yo, that's crazy. Of course, Cat's a top 20 and he's not even in my list, and he's in your list, and you were saying he's probably not in yours. So it's really weird the way that's happened, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I've
valid
gone
though. I can back it.
I've gone on a record. I've gone on record to say that in this podcast to say that Cat's one of the best big men 3 point shooters, probably one of, if not the best
Mm,
big man 3 point shooter. It's going to be interesting to see how himself and Gobert kind of play together next year. We're going to be seeing Cat at the fourth position a little bit more. You don't really have a tall ball lineup like that. You know,
mm,
your power forward ain't really usually someone who can play center.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how then to accommodate each other. Gobert is someone who ain't in my top 20. As much as he brings good defense, 3-time defensive player of the year,
Mm,
he ain't anywhere near mine,
yeah,
unfortunately. So yeah, Timberwolves. This is the only representative you have in my top 20.
but I feel like Anthony Edwards can make it.
Yeah,
Not
definitely.
now, but he
Not now.
can make it.
You can't. I mean, you said Lamelo was close to being in yours, and I just feel like you can't put someone who's been in the league 2 years in
Yeah,
your
I'll give that. The
maybe other
only
than Zion.
reason, the only reason I had Lamelo almost in there, because one, I look at the way he plays, and obviously I'm a big fan of him. And then we've got the Rookie of the Year and the All Star appearance in one, like in his like first 2 years already an All Star, like. But even then,
Yeah,
like you said, 2 years, I don't think it's enough to put someone in the top 20.
of the whole league as well. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel it's quite tough. And then number 15 for me, rounding off this next set of three, going Jimmy Butler.
Okay, okay. Then mine and your Jimmy is not quite far, to be honest. But
Yeah, I feel like Jimmy doesn't get as much appreciation in the
100%.
top 20 as other players get. I feel he's not underrated enough to be like, oh, we could get in there, you know, like a Zion
Yeah,
or a Lamelo.
yeah,
But he isn't, you know, I wouldn't call him overrated either. You know, he
yeah,
is one of the best playoff performers that the league has.
100%.
Um,
And if we're
we've
being
all,
real, he's a future Hall of Famer.
yeah, we've always said that the Heat have never been it, but Jimmy
Mm.
Butler has come and proved
He's
us wrong
he's
every
brought
single
it for
time.
them multiple times. We've seen.
And he's got a great Twitter game as well. So,
I
I
mean, he
mean,
brought the Heat their first finals appearance since LeBron.
yeah, exactly. So
Like,
I feel, and did his best against that Lakers team as well.
yeah,
So yeah, I feel, and could have got to another finals this year as well. You know,
yeah.
he does his
I
all
mean,
for
he
the
was
team.
close.
So yeah, I feel Jimmy Butler he definitely has to be in that top 20. Is it a little bit low putting in 15th? Obviously, he's lower than you.
Just slightly. But
Okay,
I mean, I don't know, because you could argue it's a bit low, but at the same time, like maybe it's not to say that it's too low. It's more just there's just some guys that are better. Not to like like put him in the sense of, oh, you're quite low in the top 20. It's that you like he is. We know how good he is, but there's just quite a handful of guys that are just on a different level. I think
fair
that's
enough.
the way of looking at it.
Fair enough.
Because then I'm looking at some of these names and it's like Jimmy's Jimmy, but he's not these guys kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I think any team would be lucky to have him. Really.
Yeah, definitely. Um, okay, so we moving on. Are we gonna carry on with threes, or do you wanna maybe
Um,
slow it down a little?
we can We
I
can
think we
do
can do it.
three
I think
until.
we can do a
uh,
3 for this one, and then we'll
Yeah,
do a few threes. Okay.
yeah, that's cool. Right.
Who you
So,
got 14?
14. That's where I put Jimmy.
Okay, fair. Right.
So, originally, like yesterday, I had him a bit higher. Then I did some shuffling this morning because I was like,
Yeah.
hold on, let me. I'm a bit more on sane mind this morning. You know, it was quite late last night. I was doing this, and I was just playing a bit of 2K. So maybe I was a bit swayed by what I've just seen on the game. But Jimmy, like we said, he's still like a future Hall of Famer. He's still a consistent All Star, and
Yeah, yeah.
like is definitely a regular starter for every single team in the league. If you ask me, maybe one or two not, but if like pretty much the whole league, he's starting like on every team. And like you said, and I think this is like a very glazed over point in like when people have these conversations. But like you said, one of the most consistent playoff performers the league has, like,
Hmm.
and I think that is um something that a lot of people just like. It's very underappreciated, like very underappreciated because playoffs. It's not easy game. It's not something that like any player walks into and they do amazing. Like this is something that like only the best of the best can perform at the best level too. Like we've seen some of the best players in the league crumble in the playoffs, but this man, he's just something else when it comes to playoffs. So obviously he
Yeah,
had to make the list. And then
yeah.
at the 13th spot, I've got James Harden.
Okay, that's
I don't
interesting.
I don't know if this is high or low or what, but I
That's
mean,
interesting.
I think I look at James Harden, and although he does get some stick from a lot of people, sometimes us, I think he is just too good to not put in that list. I think he's one of those players that, despite the hate he gets, if you actually move all of that hate away, he is actually a good basketball player and one of the league's best.
Yeah,
And I feel like
yeah.
I had to put him in there. I couldn't not
2018 James Harden is unmatched. I feel
100%.
like I'll tell you right now, he ain't in my top 20. I feel like I might have made a mistake doing that. I feel like I've kind of just looked at how he's done this year and last year and kind
Yeah.
of been like, nah, it ain't it for him
Mm,
anymore. But I mean, he's aging a little bit.
yeah.
So his window's slowly closing.
It
I
is,
kind of
yeah.
respect what he's done with Philly though. He wants to win there.
Yeah.
So hope.
And
I mean, I don't really
um,
like Philly, so I'm not going to say
yeah.
hopefully they win this year. But
Mm. I mean, if it happens, it happens. Who knows?
yeah,
Like you said, me and you, we've obviously seen like he's committed to them, which is obviously that's like what you like to see sometimes
hmm
with players, and I got to respect it. But he is in there.
yeah, okay,
So,
fair
and
enough.
then to round off my three,
Yeah,
I've got Klay Thompson.
number 12, Clay Thompson. Okay.
Now, I was this one was the hardest choice for me. I think when I was doing this, I must have put him in 5 different places, but I was set at number 12. Now, obviously, if we're talking Klay Thompson at his best, he's easily top 10, if you ask me. But I just, I don't know, man. There's just something about like a lot of these guys. Like I said, same thing with Jimmy. Kind of, a lot of these guys are just amazing. Like you have to put them like in the top 10 kind of thing. Clay, I love Clay. I love him, but I had to put him at the 12. I don't know if that's too high or too low or what. I don't know who's going to disagree with me.
Look, I'm a just let you know there was one place that I thought of putting Clay Thompson, and that was nowhere near my top 20. If I'm honest with you,
Really?
he didn't even get a look in my opinion.
No
I
way.
just feel like he's a second guy. I'd
But
feel
he's a
like
good second guy though.
he's a good second guy. I just feel like we haven't seen him be the guy on Golden State, and that's obviously not his fault. He's playing with Steph Curry, but I don't know,
But
man. I just don't think
I
he's
mean,
top 20.
and I feel like if you probably ask Steph this, he'd probably give you the same answer. I think, like, obviously he's part of the big three for a reason.
Yeah,
And I
I get
think if
that,
you
man.
take
But
any of them out, maybe the rings aren't there. I feel
fair
like
enough.
I had to put him in. But obviously, like I do understand where you're coming from. At the same time, I understand it. I just think I had to put him in there.
Like,
Like,
I can
you
respect
can't.
it.
Yeah,
Just please tell me
I
Draymond Green isn't in your top 10.
no. Draymond Green isn't. Draymond Green isn't in here.
That's good.
Although I'm a fan of Draymond, I didn't put him in
Okay.
because nah.
All right.
But
Well.
I mean, I just think you can't have 4 rings and not be in the top
Okay.
20.
All right. Well, for number 14 for me, this is a guy who has no rings. I've gone with my boy Zach LaVine.
You know what? I was really on the fence with putting him in or not. He was in at one point, and I had to get him out.
I think Zach's better than DeMar, in my opinion.
I really like him. I'm not gonna lie. I just think we haven't seen enough of him in the playoffs. That's the only thing. I feel like
That's
if
probably the only thing that's holding him back. I just feel this year is going to be the year that he is the first option. Obviously, DeMar ended up having that amazing year
mm,
last year in the regular season. Zach was
yeah,
kind of a secondary option in there, but I mean, both of them still managed to get top 15 in scoring per game, I think, or top 20 at least. Um, yeah, I feel DeMar's game is
yeah,
very limited to his mid range and his inside scoring. Zach is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, and he can do it inside as well. I just feel like his offense is limitless. Um, Obviously, he doesn't defend as well as any other
yeah,
guard, but he's not a complete player. But I feel
yeah.
I don't know, man. Now he's being backed by the Bulls front office. Now he's finally got his max contract. He can
Mm.
start performing again.
As a
You
well
know,
deserved as well. We must
he's
say well deserved.
he's getting his surgery for his injury, and yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully when he's back to full strength next year, he can push on and give the Bulls what they want, which is a deep playoff run. My number 13 is where I've put Ja Morant.
Okay. Okay.
On reflection, that could be a bit too high. I just feel like whenever you lead your team to a second seed
Mm.
that no one was expecting to be the second seed before the season
Mm.
started, I feel like that kind of can't go unnoticed. And I feel like it could be recency bias. I feel like he is, what, 3 seasons in the league
Mm.
now, and I've put him 13th as the 13th best player in the league.
Mm.
I feel like it could be a bit of recency bias compared to some of the others. Um, but yeah, I'm not too mad about it. I feel he has
No, I think it's fair
everything
to
it
be
takes
honest.
to go
Even
into
though I
that top
put him
10.
quite low, I think like it is still deserved. Like the guy is like you said, leading your team to the second seed when the year before that, I think they made the playoffs by the play-in, if I'm correct,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so no one expected that. So you have to just tip your hat off and say like he is one of like especially at his age, probably the best at his age, probably the best player in the league, if we're being honest,
Okay.
and probably one of the best young players in the league. Like
Yeah, yeah.
so, I think putting him that high, I think that like it's okay, despite what I put him. I think is
All right.
valid if I'm honest.
Okay. And then number 12 for me, um, again, might be a bit of a controversial one, but I've spoken about how I love this guy. I love this guy's game. In the past, I've put Paul George there.
Okay, okay.
I missed out. I missed out on the chance to put Paul George at 13. That'd have been quite funny, but he stays number 12.
PG is 13.
For me, no, no. Paul George number 12, in my opinion. I always feel like he is MVP caliber whenever he's fit. He hasn't been healthy for a while now though,
Hmm.
and obviously, yeah, with the Clippers not even getting into the playoffs last year, that could put him down a little bit. But I feel, especially if Kawhi comes back,
Yeah,
yeah, Paul George is top 12 in my opinion. I feel like I'm all right with that. You know, it's like Ja in the sense that he could have gone down a little bit.
yeah.
I feel like Paul George definitely is one of the best players in the NBA in my opinion.
I respect it. He was one player I was like, do I put him in? Do I not? He was definitely like in the cut, and then I think he just didn't make it. Like, but like he was definitely close. Obviously, I know you are a big PG fan, so I understand. And like when
Yeah.
he is healthy, like you said, especially if we're talking like Pacers PG, like that guy was one of the coldest in the league at that point. So you have to respect it.
Okay. Cool. So we'll go from here to 10 now. So we'll do like the
Okay.
next two.
So we've got 11 and 10. I think this
Yeah.
is probably the biggest shockers of my list.
What
11,
you've put Clay Thompson in there too.
I put him both. I put him everywhere.
Okay, hit me
Um,
with it. Come on.
so I've got CP.
Okay. All right. I thought you were about. I thought you were about to like pull out some next level second option on a team again. I thought you
LeBron
were
is
about to
number
pull
11.
out.
Now I'm just playing. Nah.
Not like that.
Well,
I thought you were about to put
it's
Westbrook
more
there or
my
something.
10th spot, to be honest. But because obviously quite where you put CP compared to where I put him, quite a big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot, like you said, he's aging. He's coming to like his final years, maybe even his final year. Like a lot of people didn't even know if he'd carry on playing, but we know we've got at least one more year of CP. But I just think he has to be in there. Like the guy is one of the most rounded players in the league for his position. Like I think he is what makes that Suns team like tick. Like you know,
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
and I think as well like D Book. I think he's an amazing player, but I think he wouldn't be developing and growing as much as he is if he didn't have CP behind him,
If he
kind
did
of
have
thing.
Clipper. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So for that reason, I had to put him there. Number 10. This is where it gets interesting. I've got Kawhi Leonard in
Top
there.
10.
Yeah.
So have I.
No way. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I thought you were gonna be
Kawhi's
like,
mine.
oh my days.
No, Kawhi's my number 10 too.
That's so then we're gonna agree on everything on this one. But I think he had to be in there, man. Yeah, I know we've not seen him
No,
for a
I
while.
mean, if I'm honest with you, I had him so far. I had him like number 17 this morning, and then I was like, "Come on, man! I know he hasn't played for 2 years, but this is Kawhi
Literally,
Leonard.
this is Kawhi
This guy
Leonard.
is he's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. He's got amazing offense. He's clutch. He does
I
everything.
mean,
Yeah,
he's
I had to put him further up.
he's got a ring. He's got a Finals
Yeah,
MVP. Like
he's got many
he's
rings. Yeah,
like if it wasn't for his injury, like his big injury, obviously we could be looking at the Clippers having deep playoff runs. Like and
yeah. He's the reason why, despite the Clippers literally doing nothing since he signed for them, he's the reason why the Clippers are still seen as a
in
threat
the
in the NBA, in my
conversation,
opinion.
like
Yeah,
and especially now if we look at it for the season coming, even whether John Wall lands or not, let's just say he doesn't. A healthy PG and a healthy Kawhi, I'm saying that team could go to conference finals.
yeah.
You can put
No,
me
I
on
agree.
record saying that. I don't care. That team could. Kawhi Leonard is the same guy who put. Yeah, fair enough. The team got injured a little bit here and there, but he had one of the most, if not the most dominant teams to ever play in the league on strings. Like, there's a reason why he's top 10 and he hasn't played for in 2 years. I think like he's probably, if we're talking dominant, one of the most like dominant players in the league. Like, and he's not even that big, like compared to
Yeah,
some of the actual like biggest players in the league. Like, I just honestly, I love the guy's game too much, and I cannot wait for him to come back. I can't
no,
wait.
yeah, me too. I I didn't think we'd have like a match this early on.
I feel
Obviously, it's
I
still top
feel like
10.
there's still I think we might get like one or two more.
No, no, me too. But I thought it'd happen like more near the
But
top than not.
that's the craziest one because I really did not
Yeah,
think that would happen.
yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, number 10 is where I put Kawhi.
Mm.
Number 11, I know he's not in yours. Trey Young is uh
Really?
is who I put 11. I feel most points, most assists last season. Took his team to the conference finals the
Mm.
season before. Um,
To be honest,
has half the
like
league
yeah,
on strings.
literally he
Like
owns like my favorite team in the league, and like it's not even like a small percentage of ownership. Like
he owns 88% of the New
he
York
owns the
Knicks.
majority of the New York Knicks. Like it's and really on reflection, I feel like he definitely should be in there. He's probably one guy that I'd probably regret not putting in. But like, yeah,
Yeah,
like like on reflection, that's more than deserved. I'll be honest. Trae Young is, and I think he's only like obviously he's only going to get better. Like
Yeah, he's still quite young too.
100%, and obviously like I think the love he has for Atlanta, I think he's going to be quite loyal to them. Obviously, we've seen they've started to
Yeah,
build like a team
they
around
started to
him,
put around him
like
now.
help
I,
him.
I like the pickup of Dejounte.
Yeah,
He's obviously Trae Young doesn't play defense, so
yeah. So
Dejounte is going to
Dejounte
cover that
Murray's,
up quite a lot. So
yeah, yeah. I think they're going to do some dangerous things. I won't be surprised if they had a deep playoff run again as well,
yeah,
like they have been doing the
yeah,
past, few
yeah.
years.
Obviously, the first round exit last year. Obviously Trae got locked up
Mm.
to
That
the
was
nth degree.
that was probably in the playoffs the worst we've ever seen Trey, which is quite crazy to say.
Yeah,
Look at his age, and this
yeah,
is the
and
only time we've seen
yeah,
him like pour in the playoffs.
yeah.
So,
So yeah,
but yeah, I can,
started in All-Star games. Yeah, I
yeah,
feel he
yeah,
definitely needs to be up there.
I respect it.
I think we should just go one after the other now. So
One for okay,
who
that's cool.
we're in the top 10 now. Who have you got number 9?
Number 9, I've got Devin Booker.
Snap. Me too.
Really?
Yeah, I've put Devin Booker there too.
Okay, so we can talk about why he's 9. I mean, if you ask me,
Yeah,
I think he's the third. I want to say third best point guard in the league.
yeah. He shooting guard. Or do you just mean guard?
Shooting, yeah, like the best guard. I think he's like the third or fourth best
Yeah,
guard
yeah.
in the league. Like,
No, no, I can back that. Yeah, I'm looking at mine, and yeah, I can only see 2 guards
I
ahead of
can
him. I
I
think
can
we know
only
which
see.
two.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I've
yeah, it's a great backcourt in Phoenix. I feel Devin Booker is one of the best shooters in the league.
mm,
Great ball handling skills. Um, he's gonna win a league. He's gonna win a league. He's gonna win a chip. I feel before he retires. He's still so young,
yeah,
despite
he
him being
he
in
is.
the league for a while. He's still very young.
Yeah, and like a lot of people make the like Kobe comparisons in his game, and I think like if you can even play half to the way that Kobe can play, you're gonna be an amazing player. And
Yeah,
I think D Book, he's got a long like a successful road ahead of him. I like you
yeah.
said, I can see chips, I see like MVPs, like
Mm-hmm.
I see it all for the guy, and it will happen. And I'm really excited for his future. Whether he does that with the Suns or not, who knows?
That'd
I'd
be
like to
interesting
think
to
so.
see.
I'd
Yeah,
like to think he would, um,
yeah,
because obviously they've been the team that have helped him grow. But who knows? Obviously, this
yeah,
is
definitely.
basketball at the end of the day. But I think that's a good number 9 spot. Seeing as though we both had the same 9, why don't you announce your
Yeah.
number 8 first?
Okay. Well, I know you don't have him at number 8 because I've put Jason Tatum there.
Okay. Yeah.
You had Tatum all the way down 15th.
Yep.
I've put Jason Tatum there. I feel just yes, Jalen Brown's still very good, and I feel like Jalen Brown's way more consistent in his
Mm,
game. But Jason Tatum, yes, he will have games where he'll shoot 3 of 16 and
mm,
score 12 points, but he'll also
like
have
50
high
assists
40
or
point
something.
games, close to
Mm,
50. And yeah, he'll have good assists during them games too, but he'll also have games where he'll drop 40,
yeah.
50. I feel like Jalen Brown, if you want a decent shooting guard who can average high teens, early 20 points per game, then yeah, Jalen Brown's your guy. I just feel like Jason Tatum has that edge about him that can lead him to just explode and
Yeah.
score big points in games. And I feel, should he have been in the All NBA first team this year? Probably not. I feel,
Mm,
but yeah, he's the key call to that Celtics team. And obviously, he's still so young.
yeah.
Um, and yeah,
And
definitely MVPs in
somebody
his
made
future.
well, actually it wasn't somebody, it was LeBron made the comparison that so LeBron's first finals run was in 2007, and he was the same age as Jason Tatum, I believe, on his first finals run. I might be incorrect in the timing, but basically LeBron made the comparison that Jason Tatum is going to be like his successor, basically, and that to come
And
from LeBron is probably
to come from LeBron,
like
that's
that's
big. Yeah.
crazy. And that wasn't very long ago he said that, so I think that, I mean, says all you need to say about the guy. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
the respective best player of all time to some people is saying that this guy is going to be the next him, it's like, how can you argue against it? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
so yeah, I
And
had him quite
obviously,
low, but mm,
he's got that finals experience
yeah,
now.
now
I
it'll be
feel he can
very
definitely win it back
interesting to
next year.
see what will come of that, like whole experience, losing and everything. But like I can back it with you putting him there, even though I put him quite low. He is still, like we said, like the future face of the NBA type thing. Like he will be the future best player in the league when he's in his peak, I believe. But
Mm-hmm.
I can respect
Who have
it.
you gone? Right.
I've gone Joel Embiid.
Okay.
I think some people might think that's too low considering he's had like the MVP, like he's been in the MVP race what 2 years in a row now. Um,
Yeah.
I think the only reason I can't put him any higher is just because sometimes I feel like, although he is obviously the best player in his team, sometimes he can like it seems like he thinks he's bigger than the team kind of thing, and sometimes that can fall him in the sense that like
Yeah, I feel like
mm,
sometimes
go on.
he doesn't really put in as much effort as some of the players around him.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, and I think for that reason, it maybe faults his game, but like obviously he's in my top 10 definitely, and I do expect him to win an MVP at some point in the next maybe 2 years. Obviously, he's been so close the last 2 years. Obviously, the Joker has like beat him to it. Um, but I do like the guy a lot. I think he's a great player, and obviously, like he got the scoring title as well this season. I believe I might be
Yeah.
wrong in saying that. He got the scoring title, so like for a big man as well, he's one of the best, if not the best. Like I think he had to be up there. So for that reason, I put Joel at
Mhm.
number 8.
Okay. Well, you put him at number 8. I put him at number 7.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, I feel number 7 still.
Yeah,
It's not like
it's not
you're
low.
bad.
Yeah, that's amazing.
um,
You're the seventh best player in the whole NBA. Like,
yeah. I just feel yeah. Hasn't proven it in the playoffs as much
mm,
as other players above him. Well, I mean, he also hasn't got that MVP.
yeah,
Although I feel like he maybe should have at least one of the years. Definitely last year. I feel
yeah,
I do like Joker over him, but I feel like Embiid did deserve it this year.
yeah,
And yeah, there's not really much I can really say about him. He's very good.
mm,
He has the skill set. It's just whether he can be bothered half of the time.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I do, like obviously, like you said, you're not a big Sixers fan. I'm not the biggest Sixers fan, but I am quite a fan of Joel. So I hope he can get this MVP before he retires. Otherwise, it would be one of those like he might just like hate the NBA for not making that happen kind of thing, and maybe it might just tarnish his legacy because he might just go on some next, I don't know, crazy run of just bashing the NBA all the time. But in that case, I'll hit you with my seventh, which was a Luka Doncic.
Okay.
I wanted to put him higher, really I did, especially after what he's like showed us last season. I think making it to the conference finals basically on your own, not to disrespect the rest of the team, but it pretty much was on his own. I think that alone is enough to put you probably in the top 5. I had to just put him slightly under because there's some players I think you just cannot, like, you can't put like lower than where they are for me. But Luka Doncic, I mean, he's going to be one of those players that will be like remembered for like the rest of, like, if we're talking NBA legacies, he's building one. Like, and
Mhm.
obviously, like everyone makes the comparisons to like Dirk with the Mavericks. I think he is Dirk's successor, as obviously is very apparent. The first finals run for the Mavericks since Dirk, I think, to be this high on the list as well is quite good for him at his age as well. And I
Yeah.
really only think he's going to get better, and I just hope the Mavs can actually help him out because, like we saw, he doesn't need much help. He just needs enough to
No.
get them to that
Yeah.
final stretch.
He's one of those kind of players.
Mm.
Yeah. He can do everything.
Yeah, he really can.
Yeah. All right. Well, number 6.
Yeah.
Well, we're nearing the top 5 now. Who's just missed out on the top 5 for you?
It was the 2-time MVP, the most paid man in
Okay.
the league. It was the Joker. He just
All
missed
right.
out for me. When you hear my top 5, you might think maybe he could have made it. And I think he really just missed out, like by the skin of his teeth. Because when I look at Joker, I genuinely see like one of the most complete all round players. Like you're talking, you know, there's LeBron, Giannis, and then him for most rounded players in the league, I think.
Yeah. Point guard level passing as a 7 foot
Really, it's crazy.
center.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously the back to back MVP, like, that speaks for itself. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit tarnished now, given that Giannis did it.
mm,
But to get an MVP back to back, it's no mean feat.
exactly, yeah, it's not, easy, but he made it look easy. Really, he did. And, the only thing that I wish wasn't the downfall of his, like, like when you talk about him and his career so far, is his playoff runs. They've not really been amazing. I
Yeah,
think the best playoff run he had was in the
yeah,
bubble. Um,
yeah,
but like that's something that will obviously get better over time. We know he's gonna dominate the league in the next few years. We know, we can see it. It's very obvious. And to say the come up of when his draft got announced during a commercial, like, and now he's a 2-time MVP. Like, I don't think anyone saw this
yeah.
coming.
Deep second
Yeah,
rounder,
deep,
2 time
deep second
MVP.
round.
Yeah,
So you have to respect it.
respect to
But
him.
he only just
Yeah.
missed out. But who missed out for you, Sam?
Not Jokic. KD has just missed out for me.
Okay. Okay.
I just feel like I don't know, man. He has the level to be top 5, top 4, maybe even top 3.
Mm,
Just his loyalty, man. I can't have it, man.
okay.
Like his rings tarnished in my opinion. You can't be going to a 73 and
Yeah.
9 team.
I mean,
And well, I mean, in the end, no, he did end up winning that ring, but he
yeah.
didn't win it the
I
year
think I
after.
think it- I think
Yeah,
I think it was Kendrick Perkins actually. I know he likes to say some crazy things, but I think he actually made the point that Golden State kind of saved KD's legacy, which,
that's fair because I feel
yeah,
like,
when you think about it,
especially with the Nets, yeah, especially this year,
mm, which is,
he's kind of become a bit of a laughing stock, and even like demanding a trade now.
yeah.
I don't think he's going to leave anymore.
I don't
I
see it
think there's
happening. If it's not
potential.
happened yet, I don't
I
see it
think there's
happening.
potential. Yeah, I just don't think there's any other team who can, like, other than the Heat. I don't really think there's many other teams who can put together a trade package
Yeah,
for him. But yeah, I feel
man.
obviously he's a sniper,
Yeah,
7 foot tall. He's he's unplayable at the
yeah,
small forward position. Carried his Brooklyn Nets team to the conference
yeah,
semis in 2021.
yeah,
And yeah, obviously, I mean, my top 20's kind of all been had a little bit of recency bias in it,
mm,
and obviously he had a stinker in the
yeah,
latest
yeah.
playoffs.
That's fair.
Obviously, LeBron has been swept in his career, but it happened in the finals.
Yeah,
So, I mean, getting swept in the first round, it really ain't it. A team that has KD on it shouldn't be finishing 7th in the
yeah,
East, which is, you should say is the easier conference. But KD is still KD at the end
of
of the
course.
day. You can't really discredit that. And yeah, as much as he, maybe other than last year, hasn't really reached the heights of his MVP season way back when.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I feel next season will be interesting, and he's obviously a brilliant asset to have on any team.
yeah,
Top 6, like I said, it's like so with Embiid. It's not like you're bad.
yeah.
It's just I feel like there is better
That's fair. That's fair.
as we head now into the
The
top 5.
top 5. Now, this,
It's interesting.
when
Man.
I said you were going to be waiting a while to hear this guy's name, I meant it. Number 5
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot we hadn't even said him for you.
is Kyrie Irving for number 5. Now,
That's high in my opinion.
You might think it's high. Some other people might think it's high. Me personally, I think, I can say this. You can do whatever you want with this clip. If Kyrie played from the first day of when the NBA started last season, Brooklyn Nets, they wouldn't have been where they were in terms of everything. They would have definitely finished in a higher seed. They definitely would have had a better playoff run. I think and it was very apparent when we saw him come back. He wasn't back for long, and he already like added so much quality to that Brooklyn Nets team. Obviously, we saw them get swept, but I think the one and only thing that was key, like holding like Brooklyn together, was Kyrie. And I just, especially like we saw him in the first game of that 4 game series, like I think, what did he drop?
Yeah, he did have a great game.
49-50 or something. He had an amazing game.
He did have a great game.
And I think the first half he didn't even miss a shot. Like, for me, and obviously we talk about his career as well. The guy's got his ring, and like his Game 7 iconic moment, and possibly linking up with LeBron again. I just, for me, he has to be in the top 5. He has to be, and I think he will stay in my top 5 for the next probably 2 seasons.
Okay. All right. Okay. You've opened up a way to do this next year. Now we got to be looking.
Yeah,
We'll have a look at the end of next
of
season. We'll
course,
have a look over this. We'll
of
see
course.
who we think we should have put in. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Kyrie top 5, maybe top 10. Obviously, yes, I put him
Mm,
way farther down than that. I put him number 19. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel he, like with Klay Thompson, but not on the same level as Klay Thompson. I just feel like Kyrie hasn't proven that he can do it as the main guy. He's needed LeBron, or I mean, to be fair, he overshadowed Kevin Durant, but I feel it didn't work with him on the Celtics. It hasn't worked with him at the Nets. He's potentially going to be staying on the Nets next year.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, especially if he's going to be playing all the games, we'll see.
yeah,
We'll end up seeing what happens. I feel like the Nets. Then I think just feel like the Nets themselves just aren't really that good of a team, other than Kyrie and KD,
yeah.
and now Ben Simmons. So I feel
That's
the
fair.
Nets are just doomed, whether they had him or not. Kyrie top 5 though, I don't know. I disagree personally.
That's fair. I mean, I just think he had to be in there. But who's your 5th spot, Sam?
I've put Jokic there.
Jokic?
I
Okay,
put the
that's
two.
fair
I put
actually.
the back-to-back MVP, the reigning MVP. Um, yeah, I just feel like he's done everything except playoff basketball, other than that bubble year. But
Yeah,
you kind of really can't take much to that, given that Jamal Murray just hasn't been
yeah.
here for the last 2 years.
As well, I think like
Obviously,
the 2
without
MVPs
Jamal
is there for
Murray,
him as well. You can't take that away.
without Jamal Murray, he's become the MVP of the league twice.
Yeah,
So yeah, and obviously most paid player in the NBA now. Good on him, man. It's much deserved. And yeah, I feel like we talked about Jokic a lot. Like I said, point guard
yeah,
handling, point guard passing skills, and he's 7 foot tall.
yeah,
The dude has shown that it's not all doom and gloom if you get drafted low.
yeah.
The cameras might not be on you
Mm.
from the start, but just as long as you stick your head down, keep grinding.
Really, it's true. All some players need is a platform, and then they show out in the best way possible. And I think he is definitely a reminder of that. So
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, he's top 5 in my opinion.
I respect it. I respect it. For the 4,
Who have you gone with number 4 then? Is KD there?
it is KD.
Right. Okay.
Now, you made some good points, to be fair, I will say. Like, and especially that, like, topic that's been brought up recently and all over Twitter and everything, that Golden State saved his legacy. I think technically it's true, but Draymond Green has also gone on record to say without KD, they didn't win. They aren't winning that chip that they won with KD. Draymond said it, and I think me personally, I respect a lot of that guy's
Yeah,
opinion.
I don't know about that take. In my opinion, they came up against the Cavs side, whose second best player was like Matthew Dellavedova or Tristan Thompson or some crap like that.
It was, I, thi-
Nah,
I honestly, I mean, I respect the guy's opinion a lot, but he pretty much said that without KD, they weren't winning that ring with him. But you are kind of right. His ring is kind of tarnished. Like he kind of had to, give up all the loyalty he had with OKC and just say, "All right, cool, I'm gonna go win this
have a
chip."
go win a chip now.
And I mean, he did. But I think if we're talking pure basketball ability, skill set, one of the best, if not the best scorer in the league, like, his ability, like, as a 7 footer to just, like, drain him from everywhere. Like, he is the Slim Reaper for a reason. And I really do like the guy. And I waited so long for him to come back in the league. And he came back and I was gassed. And obviously we say it all the time. Last year he was that close to getting them to the conference finals. If he gets them to the conference finals, he probably gets to the finals and probably wins a chip. If we're being honest, it probably happens. So I guess that is a bit of unluck on his side, but maybe that's what happens when you snake OKC or like maybe that's what happens. But I had to put him in the top five. I think like any team, and there's a reason why his trade request has made so much noise because the other
Yeah,
29 teams in the league were probably trying to find a way to get him on their side without damaging their team too much because
yeah,
obviously he's KD.
yeah.
He brings
He's that
he
guy.
brings like 30 40 points a game probably.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But well, KD, he landed just outside mine. Number four for me is, in my opinion, the 2022-23 NBA regular season MVP.
Luca.
That's Luka
Yeah.
Doncic.
I
You
really
could
I hope
say
that
that it's a
happens.
little bit. You could say it's a little bit high, putting Luka number four despite only one playoff run, only no like regular season accolades,
Mm,
rookie of the year, obviously, but genuinely, this guy, how old is he? Like 22, and he is already one of the best triple double threats every night.
yeah.
He's gonna be a guy that can potentially break Westbrook's record.
Mm,
Unfortunately for us, yeah, points, assists, rebounds, he does it all. He's a one man team.
pretty much.
Hopefully, like even when they tried to put another All Star next to him, Luke was like, "Nah, this guy's
I'm good.
trash.
I don't
I'm
need
the
him.
All Star here." And yeah, I feel like I said, hopefully with the signing of Christian Wood, keeping Spencer Dinwiddie, all that kind of stuff, players that aren't going to take away much of the ball
Yeah.
away from Luca. Luca can potentially have such a good season. I think Dallas might do exactly what Memphis did, but obviously Dallas was
Yeah.
still up there for fifth seed. I feel like they could potentially crack the top two next year, and that's going to lead Luca to an MVP in my opinion. Maybe that's a little bit of a bias towards Luca, putting him so high up
Mm.
now, despite him not really doing much. Maybe next year he could be that top five. But yeah, I feel Luca's Luca, man.
I think it's deserved, I'll be honest. I think it's
Good.
deserved. And I really hope
Yeah, I
you're right
mean,
about
just
that MVP. I would love to see that happen. I would love to see that happen.
yeah, yeah.
I think I would
I
hang on.
reckon. I reckon our top three is the same. Were you about to say that?
Yeah, that's literally what I was gonna say.
Like, not as in maybe not same as in same,
But it's
but as in I feel like the
definitely the same three
personnel.
players.
Yeah, which is gonna be interesting. This is in before. It's exactly the same, but I personally don't think it will be because I put Steph Curry number three, and I know that you're high on Steph Curry. I don't think you'll put him that high.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Okay, so it's definitely not the
so I
same, but it's the same three players.
okay,
Because
okay. Well, I've put Steph Curry number three,
okay,
greatest point guard of all time.
facts.
No debate about it, in my opinion. I just feel like what separated the top two from Steph Curry is the fact that because they're bigger players, they're able to do more across the
Yeah.
court. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time.
Mm,
That's fact. But he doesn't play as much defense as the other two.
yeah.
He obviously doesn't have I mean, he can bring out some ball handling skills whenever needed,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's more impressive when someone like LeBron or
Yeah.
Giannis pulls out ball handling skills, passing skills. It's a little bit more impressive that
Yeah.
way, and I feel, yeah, Steph's game. I'm not saying it's just limited to threes. He can do it. He can do it all.
Yeah.
He can score inside. He can score from half court. He can score from full court. He can score from in the stands if he wanted to.
He could probably
He can
score
score from
from
the bench.
outside the arena. He could probably somehow make it.
Yeah, yeah, dude's a beast. But yeah, I feel like I said, the only thing that separates Steph from the other two is the fact that he can't do it all.
Yeah.
Where I feel like the other two can.
Okay. I can understand that. However, I put at the number 3, I put Giannis. I put him there
Okay.
because although I think the other two are, like, for me, like, amazing. Probably, like, I think the two best players in the league, but I think Giannis just falls under that. But I think give him 2-3 years, he probably will top the list. Maybe not even 2-3 years. Maybe next year he might be at the top of the list. Like, but I think right now, I can't put him there yet. But top 3 for me, I still think and I think it's not even close. Like, I think, like, I put KD 4,
No,
but
yeah,
I think that 4th and 3rd spot, there's a massive gap. I'll be honest.
that's
And I
fair.
do respect
That's fair.
KD a lot and his game, but I think Giannis is, like, on a different planet to KD. Like, his game,
Yeah.
he's, like we've said, so well rounded. Like, the second best rounded player in the league. Like, he can do it all. As we mentioned, like, we had a conversation today. A year ago, I said Giannis can't shoot from the free throw line. It's gonna stop him from winning the chip tonight. And then he shot probably the best free throw percentage he's ever shot in his life and won the chip. So
Fact.
he can do it all, and he is one of the second most dominant player in the league, in my opinion. And obviously the back-to-back MVPs, the Finals MVP, the chip, that alone puts you in the top 3, no doubt. And I mean, he's Giannis at the end of the day. Everybody loves him. I don't think you can't not love Giannis.
No, yeah, that's
Like,
fair. Yeah.
you can't. But I mean, what a man! He had to be in my top 3.
All right, fair. Okay. Do you want to reveal number 2 first, or?
Yeah, I can. I've got Steph.
Okay.
I've got Steph there.
All right. Okay.
So obviously, you know who my number 1 is, but Steph's my number 2. Like, and I could talk about this guy for a whole podcast episode if I really wanted to. Like, you.
This is what you're gonna do when I'm like not available one week. You'll be like, all right, well, set the camera.
Set the camera.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. This is Steph Curry day. I'll wear my Steph jersey. I've got one. I've got 2 actually. I'll wear them both. I think Steph, like you said, I think he's the best point guard ever. I think obviously the whole thing of was Magic or Steph. I think now obviously I was never there to watch Magic. I've only seen and heard things. But I think for me, Steph has to be the number 1. The most 3 points recorded ever. The Finals MVP, the League MVP, the Conference the Conference Finals MVP, and the All-Star MVP.
Yeah, Magic Johnson ain't winning no conference finals MVP.
I mean, he's got one named after him, but he ain't winning it. That's all I'm saying.
Nah.
I mean, and 4 of those, 3 of those all came in one season. Let's not forget, last season he got the All-Star, the Conference Finals, and the Finals MVP, as well as the chip, obviously, all in the same year. I think that has to be one of the most successful individual seasons of all time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And I mean, like I said, I could talk about him forever. I think now you have to maybe even say he's a top 10 all time. You could put him in there. Like, he might be at the bottom, he might be 10 or 9, but I think the argument is there to be made.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I still think he's got like another chip in him, I'll be honest. And
fair enough.
I have to say, I think one of the most influential players in the league. Like, we see so many people, like, in college basketball or high school basketball, just shooting random threes from out of nowhere, and like, doing the look back away before they've even hit the basket. And like that, I think you have to, even though he hates it, we've seen that. I mean, he owns the Boston Celtics. I don't know if you saw, He hosted the SPs, I think it was last night,
BSBs,
and
yeah.
he they made like a promotion video, and Kevin Hart was like, right, okay, you need to introduce yourself, and he goes, oh, so I'm the son of Del Curry, and I'm the father to the Boston Celtics, and I just burst out laughing. But I mean,
Yeah, that's
what a
funny.
man!
Yeah.
But that's my second best player in the league. Who's yours?
Okay. LBJ, LeBron
Ah!
James, number 2, in my opinion. Nothing separates him and Giannis, in my opinion, but the fact is, LeBron just ain't as good as Michael Jordan, and that's I can't be having him number 1. Um, nah, I feel like I said, recency bias. I've said this multiple times throughout this
Mhm.
video. It might have impacted my list a little bit. The fact is, LeBron is in year
He's stepping into
19.
year 20.
Yeah, he's stepping into year 20. He's been the top of that list for
Probably the last
decade,
10.
for at least a decade, maybe
Mm,
even more. I just feel, I guess I can talk about Giannis. I can talk about Giannis
mm,
as my number 1 now as well.
yeah,
I just feel Giannis is the most dominant player in the NBA,
yeah.
and there's no two ways about it. You point out LeBron's title winning seasons.
Mm,
He's done it with all like perennial all stars:
mm,
Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade,
mm.
Anthony Davis. Giannis won the chip with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Obviously Middleton got an all star level. He got that all star pick, I think, the year that they won the chip. But
Yeah,
Drew Holiday's just been that kind of guy who's just been a great defensive player, hasn't really
yeah,
done much. Obviously, he is now transitioning into probably the prime of his career. He's putting up decent numbers now as
yeah,
well. Just the dangerous. And yeah, I feel Giannis winning the chip in a small city
mm,
when it comes to the NBA, like Milwaukee.
yeah,
Um, obviously they don't have much money around, and
yeah. Two chips in the
I'm
whole franchise history.
like yeah, likening it to Dirk in my opinion, doing
Yeah,
it with the Mavs. Um, so yeah, Giannis in my opinion is just way more dominant than LeBron. LeBron is obviously second greatest player of all time in my opinion. I mean, I even fluctuate. Sometimes I say he is the greatest player
mm.
of all time, depending on what he does the night before. Um, nah, yeah, man. I feel, yeah, LeBron and Giannis, you could just easily switch them
Yeah,
two, in my opinion. Obviously, you've put Giannis third. But I agree with you when saying that the top 3 players in the NBA
they are like
are
by far.
two of them, like you said. Well, one of them definitely is. The Steph is arguably top 10 all time. Giannis is going to end his career
Yeah,
up near Kobe, LeBron,
yeah.
and MJ, in my
And
opinion.
LeBron, obviously. I mean, if you ask me, like I said, I put him at number 1. If you ask me, he's the greatest of all time. And I think longevity is a massive factor. Like I said,
That's
the
fair.
man is
That's fair.
stepping into the 20th year in his NBA career, and really, you still watch him and you think, how is he this good? Like, I
hmm
just,
hmm
if I was an NBA player, and I think we'll take a nod back to the last episode, I would never be eating a steak before I play LeBron James. I tell you that for
I didn't
we
even
didn't
check.
even do the
Wait,
steak count.
I still need to go through.
We still need
I'll
to
do
do
the
that.
state count.
But I think LeBron, and the sad thing is I only see maybe 2 more seasons of LeBron in the NBA, and I wish I didn't have to say that, because he's one of those people, like, we've me and you, we've only seen LeBron dominate the NBA. Like, it was, I kind of like,
Well, yeah, what, he was drafted 2003? That's before I was even born, man.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he's been playing for 20 years. I've only been alive for 18, almost 19 years, and he's been now about to be, stepping into his 20th year. Like, it's so crazy. Like, and it's kind of like the way that, so when I started, like, when I fell in love with the NBA was mainly because of Kobe. So all I ever saw was Kobe, and then when Kobe retired, I was like, okay, now what? But I think when LeBron retires, I think the NBA will have a massive shock to the system, and I don't think anybody's
Uh-huh.
ready for that. I think,
I feel like we're quite close to transitioning on because obviously, like I say, LeBron, you never see him in end of season awards now.
yeah,
You, I mean, you haven't seen him in the playoffs 2 times in the last 3
yeah,
seasons. I feel like we are kind of adapting
Yeah.
to life without LeBron, especially in the
Mm.
postseason.
But it's like the point
Um,
is always made as well. Like, so I think,
yeah, there isn't LeBron
yeah,
here, so someone else
it's
might be
always
able
said,
to.
like, I think on the last regular season Lakers game, it was either like they make the play in or they don't, and he couldn't play. He was injured, and when it was like when they realized, okay, the Lakers aren't going to win this game, they were like, this is the something time LeBron, the second time LeBron won't be making the playoff, like the actual playoff, like just straight out of the butt
Yeah,
and kind of thing. And I mean, it's just he'll be always one of them players that they will say, they will talk about him. He'll always be in NBA conversations, whether he's in the league or not. And by the time he leaves the league, his son's going to be in the league anyway. I mean, I hope we see them play together. I know that's what he wants to do. I see him like that being his last year. I see his
yeah, I can
yeah.
see
So his
that. Yeah.
son's first year is his last year. He's probably going to try everything to win the chip that year. Imagine that would be probably the greatest NBA moment in the history of the whole league. I don't think anyone can top that. But
Easily the only time that'll ever
oh
happen,
yeah,
probably in sports as well.
100%, because we all like we see players like Sons step in the league. Like recently, we've seen Scottie Pippen Jr., seen Sharif O'Neal. We've seen
Hmm.
players Sons step into the league, but like I don't think like it's ever been to the point where they've been close to even playing with their dads. I think Bronny's lucky in that way, but I mean I can't wait for
Yeah.
that. But the day LeBron retires, for me personally, I don't think I'm ready for that. Even though, like you said, the transition
Okay.
is
No,
happening. I don't think I'm ready. But for me,
fair enough.
he's still the best player in the league and the best of all
Yeah,
time.
I feel, is he, compared to everyone else in this list, is he the best player in the league at the moment? Like at the moment, no. But in terms of like, if you look at the career he's had compared to
Yeah,
everyone else in this list, yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
think I
definitely.
just
But in my opinion, Giannis is just there at the
I
top.
can respect either opinion though, because Jan, like I said, give it maybe even 1 year, he'll definitely be at the top of most people's list.
Yeah, definitely.
I can respect
Well,
it.
he's at the top of mine now,
Yeah.
and that's where we'll end today's little discussion
Mm.
video on who we think are the top 20 NBA players. Let us know in the comments if
I
you
think a
what you
top 20
guys.
all time player list is due soon as well.
I don't think I have the basketball knowledge for
We
that,
could
man.
do a top 10 though.
Okay,
We could
okay,
do a
I
top
guess.
10 all
Well,
time.
there might be a lot of recent, like I said, recency bias has dominated this list for me. There'll be a lot of recency bias. Derrick Rose,
Derrick
top
Rose is
five.
number one. Derrick Rose is
Yeah,
the greatest of all time.
yeah. Well, let us know in the comments if you think we've missed anyone who we think should be in that top 20. Obviously, there is a lot of honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
100%. Like so many people that could have made the list.
Yeah, yeah. So let us guys know in the comments. Make sure that you're following all of the social medias in the description. Our Instagram, our TikTok. We don't use Twitter, but follow
Just
Twitter
follow
anyway.
it for vibes, man.
And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube video. Like I said, make sure you're commenting down below. Make sure you're sharing it out no matter what you're listening on any podcast platform. And yeah, me and Salib will see you guys next week for some more off-season Beyond the Arc. Peace.